Hello and welcome. Today we're working on the managerial accounting, the full course. We're in the cash flow chapter. So we're going to do investing activities on the cash flow statement. So remember, the cash flow statement has operating activities, investing activities, and financing activities. Now we've already finished with operating activities. We had the direct and the indirect, so check out the previous videos. Now we're to the investing activities. Hey, if you're new, my name is Jeff. I'm working our way through our full managerial accounting course in the spring. It's January of 2026 right now, so in the spring semester. So follow along, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Let's get started. So what if we have the following information? We're trying to figure out investing activities. Now, just a little teaching real quickly on investing activities. We're looking at buying or selling non-current assets. So land, equipment, machines, buildings. Could be a patent, could be a copyright. It could be long-term investments. Okay, so now we've got the setup. We're in that frame of reference. Let's say Wilder Company has the following information, and we have several different things, 5 or 6 things here. So let's analyze it, and then we're going to do at the very bottom, we're going to just do the cash flow from investing activities. We're going to put all these, list all these things, and then plus if cash goes up, minus if cash goes down, and we'll see how that works. Now the first one is really kind of the hardest to calculate. Let's say we sold equipment, and here's all the information we know. We're missing something that we need to back in and find. We have a book value on the equipment of $78,400. We have an original cost of $133, and our loss is $18,400. Now, the full journal entry, you can do a journal entry here, and I've kind of laid one out. You can do a full journal entry, or you could say, hey, look, we have our book value. Our book value is $78,400, okay? And we have a proceed. We sold it for something, but we have a loss of $18,400. So if we just do the math, we can say, well, 78 minus the 18, we must have collected the cash proceeds must be 60,000. Okay, so we're going to use the 60,000. The sale of equipment is going to be, we only care about the cash consequence. We're not doing the income statement here and figure out the loss and all that. We're not doing the balance sheet and figuring out the original cost minus the book value, the accumulated depreciation. We're ignoring all that. That's for the income statement, the balance sheet. We're on the cash flow statement, so all we care about is cash, right? Now, another way to think about this would be, I just did a quick little entry. Now, we're missing the original cost and we're missing the accumulated depreciation, but this will make sense to you. If it's on our books at 78 and we had a loss of 18, then we must have only collected 60,000 of cash. So what we're going to do is take that 60,000, we're going to say sale of equipment, sale of equipment. Now, that 60,000, is that going to be a plus, we receive cash, or is that a minus, we're paying cash? Well, we're receiving cash, so sale of equipment, 60,000 is a plus. Now, I think that's the only thing we really have to solve, but we're already done with that. So let's keep going. Let's look at each one along the way. So sale of equipment, done. Purchase new truck, $93,500. So we purchased a new truck. Purchase of a new truck. Now, is this going to be an increase in cash or a decrease in cash? Well, we're paying cash to buy the truck, so it's $93,500. Okay, what's next? We have sale of equipment, purchase new truck, issued common stock. Now, by definition, issuing common stock, this is a financing activity, which relates to equity and long-term debt. So if we borrowed money on long-term debt, We issued common stock, we paid dividends, all that is a financing activity. In fact, we already have something down here that's also financing. So we're going to ignore the issuance of common stock. We're going to ignore dividends paid because those two are financing activities. This problem is not going to trick us today. Not today, investing activities. These are financing activities. They go on the financing activity section. Next one down is the sale of land. And we have several things. Now, one of the things that you have to learn is what information is relevant, what information is irrelevant. It says, hey, we sold land, the original cost, and they'll get in a story. Well, hey, originally I bought this for $154,000. I remember the day that it did. We did it, and then that doesn't really matter. The proceeds from the sale is $202,000, and then you have a gain. So, yeah, I made $48,000, and hey, that doesn't matter. All we care about is what's the cash consequence. Did we buy land or did we sell land? We sold land, so we'll say sale of land. And it's nice to have all that other information, but all we need right now is the sale of land. How much cash did we receive? $202,000. Now, if we're the buyer of land, we could say we could purchase land for $400,000, then that would be a negative $400,000. You understand how that works. Dividends paid, we've ignored it. And then sale of investment. We have original costs. Like, well, what was the original cost? We don't need to know this on this one. On the income statement we would. But all we care about is the proceeds from the sale. And we have sale of investments. And that's going to be a plus to us of $72,600. So here is our cash flow from investing activities. We have sale of equipment, cash goes up. Purchase a new truck, cash goes down. Sale of land, cash goes up. Sale of investments, cash goes up. So our cash flow from investing activities is a positive $241,100. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.